Welcome to the GoalZero Toolbox Talk series. Today's Toolbox Talk: Hazardous communication. There are an estimated 575,000 chemical products used, imported, or produced in the United States. Therefore, Americans are exposed to chemicals daily. Hazardous chemical exposure can cause or contribute to many serious health effects such as heart disease, kidney and lung damage, sterility, cancer, burns, and skin rashes. Some chemicals may also be safety hazards and have the potential to cause fire, explosions, and other serious accidents. Exposure to chemicals poses a serious problem for both employers and their workers. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OHSA, ensures that the hazards of all chemicals produced or imported are evaluated and that all information concerning their hazards is transmitted to employers and employees. This transmittal of information is generally accomplished by implementing a comprehensive hazard communication (OSCOM) program which includes container labeling and other forms of warning, safety data sheets, SDSs, and employee training. OSCOM is referred to as the Right to Know standard, which establishes uniform requirements to make sure the hazards of all chemicals in the workplace are evaluated and the information is passed on to affected workers. The program also ensures that all employers receive the information they need to be able to inform and train their employees properly and to design and implement employee protective programs. Chemical manufacturers must determine the hazards of each product and communicate information to customers through labels and SDSs. Employers must identify and list chemicals in the workplace, obtain SDSs and labels for each chemical and develop written programs that include chemical lists, labels, SDSs, personal protective equipment, PPE, and employee training. Employees must comply with all elements of the OSCOM program set out by their employer by following the warnings and cautions on SDSs and on chemical labels and wearing and maintaining required PPE training. Employee training plans should include both general and site-specific information, such as how the OSCOM program will be implemented and the hazards of the chemicals in the area. It identifies how employees can protect themselves along with the location and use of PPE and the methods and observations workers can use to detect the presence of a chemical. Each container must be labeled, tagged, or otherwise marked with the identity of the chemical container and must show the appropriate hazard warnings associated with that chemical. These labels must be legible, in English, and prominently displayed on the container. Chemical manufacturers must develop an SDS, formerly known as a Material Safety Data Sheet, or MSDS, for every chemical they produce. This SDS must be automatically provided at the time of the initial shipment of the product, must be in English, and must include information regarding the chemical identity. The chemical's characteristics, both physical and chemical, known acute and chronic health effects and related health information, exposure limits, whether the chemical is a carcinogen, precautionary measures, emergency and first aid procedures, and the identification of the organization that prepared the SDS must be stated on this document. There are 16 sections on the SDSs that must be filled out. The OSCOM program ensures that employees are aware of the chemicals in the workplace, and each employee, whether they work near chemicals directly or indirectly, must become familiar with the OSCOM program.